Good morning. Today is April the 15th. We are in the Green Mountains, although we are not where we anticipated being, because apparently there are some new rules in the Forestry Service and certain roads aren't open yet. I'm a little annoyed by that, but also lacking control of the situation, we're here instead. So, unexpectedly, we're kind of picking up where we left off last year. Long story short, a little bit of a history lesson. We were... This is one of the last places we were before winter came and the like, so we're back in the same, it's not the Five Bogs, it's a little bit west of the Five Bogs, but we are here. We are going to check for some sign in an area that had promise, and I did make the swearing that I would be back. And for reasons I did not anticipate, I wasn't wrong. So we're going to hit the trail, see what we can find. It is early, so the conditions today, despite the fact that it is 60 degrees, there is scattered snow and permacrust still around and a lot of mud. So, typical Vermont in mid-April. So, let's hit it, see what we find, and we'll see what the day brings. Okay, we're not in the best scenery right now, but we're going to do the rambling walk part of this first, and as you can see, the conditions on the trail, still a lot of snow up here actually, off in the woods and whatnot. It's all crusty permacrust stuff that's going to probably be here till June, because that's what life is like in Vermont when you hit spots that never get the sun. So the rest is swampy ass soft mud. Again, typical for this time of year. It was anticipated. So it's been an interesting couple of days, and I have some social commentary that has absolutely nothing to do with Bigfoot. But let's start with the first setback we had today. The first setback was I was going to drive into the Five Bogs, and apparently all of a sudden the Forestry Service has certain forest roads closed until May 1st. So for the next 2 weeks, I'm shit out of luck, and I'll have to think about that and how I'm going to do next weekend, because I had planned to start the cycle of coming back up, but if I'm here and a lot of places are closed off, that is an impediment to that. I'll have to think about that. However, we get to the 1st and they haven't opened up yet. I will say this. May 1st is the first day of turkey season, and having given revenue towards a turkey license for the year, if you're denying me use of it in areas that I know of, that's not cool. That's going to tick me off. Now we're going to move to social commentary. During the week, I'd never actually witnessed the gross stupidity of somebody on social media doing quote-unquote anything for clicks on, I guess somebody said they saw it on Instagram, but you know, it's literally the anything for a buck kind of thing. This is like the mentality of a kid who eats worms at school for money, which you have to admit is pretty effed up. So what I saw was a moving car with, and I posted about this on Facebook, a moving car with what seemed to be a baby hanging out the window, being held by 2 hands, and then come to find out later, at least rumor has it, this was somebody doing that with a baby doll for generating views on Instagram for whatever. I didn't care enough to go look and confirm. I'll take their word for it. I hope it was that, not some mental pygmy doing that to a real baby, because at the time I was going the other way and I didn't have the ability to turn around and get their license plate because I had somebody driving up my car's derriere. And that, I would rather have it be somebody stupidly doing anything for clicks, but even there, the road you were driving down typically has at least one cop along the side of the road, and sorry, I'm trying to find the least muddy way through here. There's going to be a lot of that through here. And regardless, you're still dealing with criminal mischief or public disturbance, breach of peace, something on that level. So if they pulled you over and saw what you were doing, I rather like the odds of you getting minimally a ticket and fine related situation going on, because that's the so we have a lot of snow, but it doesn't mean that allergens aren't about. You have a level of stupidity where, frankly, you deserve some educational pain, shall we say. And if it was a real baby, bloody hell, what is wrong with you? Either way, stupid, but first time and the only time I ever want to literally witness an idiotic TikToker, TikToker slash Instagrammer doing stupid shit like that, because that's just really pathetic. So, yeah, my commentary on that is, if you're one of the people that does that, to be blunt, grow the fuck up. Yeah, the lovely thing about the snow is it's all slippery too, because it's like been melting. Oh, we got a big old floodplain right here. Hold on. The camera cannot do two things at once. That whole thing looks like it's underwater. Let's see what we're up against here. And if I were to be cut off of the pass here, honestly, this would be par for course, because the the day's been like that. Actually, a piece of yesterday was like that too. The other store, oh yeah, we're kind of, is there a way through, or is this just like a big, let's see what we can do here. With some ingenuity, you might get around this. But it's going to take a little work. That's a deer. We might be going around this thing. Okay, so we're going to do that. And we'll be back. We're going to do a segment break just because I got to figure out my way through this thing, or around this lovely little puddle here. So we'll be back in a few and tackle the second Okay, we are at the point where we tried to make our way through this, and there's no way to do this without like doing a lot more wading than I really wanted to do. So I think I'm hosed, and we're going to fall back and punt and find another route. This day is proving to be kind of sucky. This is living proof, folks, that this is not all glamour and glitz. So, yeah. We're going to get back to another segment break, just with a quick update, like a few moments later, and then here we are, and we're kind of... You got this, and then there's a stream that kind of... There's no version of this fucking meadow where I can't go through this and can't go through that, so we're kind of hosed, is what it is. Time to fall back and punt, so we will. All right, we'll be back in a bit, yet again. So what I had planned was to explore where I was last year, and they must have had, this is either a record amount of snow melt, or I haven't been here this early before, or whatever. This place is massively flooded. So I have to come to terms with the fact there are going to be some hard limits on what I'm able to do today, which is annoying. I don't like being thwarted, but it is... The conditions are something that I don't really have a whole lot of control over, but the people seem to have left, so I at least can do some vlogging without having to shoo away their probably overly friendly dog. I mean, there are a couple and a dog. They're harmless, but I'm not going to fault them for coming out on a perfectly lovely day to enjoy the great wilderness, but he had to be right on top of me, which kind of hampers my abilities to do my thing. But this is not normally this Not normally this crazily flooded, so I'm curious what I had left off over there. I'm curious how crazily flooded that is. And while I'm yammering pointlessly and trying to maneuver, the beavers have been busy in here. There's that. The situation I was alluding to in the intro also was that the car had a little bit of a mishap too, but there's a story behind it that's actually kind of related to this, and that is lots of beaver sign, as you can see. In 2018, my car had a run-in with a black bear, and I took the car to the garage the next day, and I had them patch it up as best they could. And in the process of so doing, they did a good job, and for 5 years it held up. But yesterday on the way home from work, I started hearing what sounded like a flat, but you know how you can feel a flat under the tire? It was all sound and no feel. So when I come back, I wonder if I can launch the drone from here and get a aerial of all this flooding craziness. Anyway, and that I haven't updated the drone in a while. Hope that's not going to interfere with things. Guess we'll find out. If it does, then, well, that's yet another. We're already in kind of a thwarted theme of the day, so if it does, then there you go. The day is nothing if not annoyingly consistent. So, basically the big plastic cosmetic piece that lines your tire under the hood, all the bolting came apart and fell apart on the way home yesterday, and now the car, an admittedly very old car, has entered into the duct tape phase of its life. And I just have to kind of make my peace with that before I get a new car, likely later in the year for the first time in a long, long time. Okay, let's get a better view of this beast. This is a lot more flooded. Normally this is like you can bop around this part here, but it's like thoroughly underwater. Not even an attempt at subtlety. But it is a lot easier getting through here in early spring when things haven't filled in yet. So that's an ironic plus. We're heading... This is all one big massive meadow, so I guess we can pretty much just go straight. And we're going to hit the view. You can always see the clearing up there. And then you just basically go back the way it came. But rubber bushes, of course, are always out. May you burn in hell. You know I hate your guts, but whatever. So yeah, the car is duct taped to probably as much out of my own OCD as it is for the fact I just don't need... It had been what was holding the side panel after the bear hit it together, so I just don't want that flapping in the wind, because over time that's going to like probably rip off or some stupid thing. So while I still have the car, it's a cosmetic thing, but you don't need the thing falling apart any more than it already is. But when it's time, I'm ready. So a little tree break there for stick structure enthusiasts. And just go to the edge of the hill and see what we see over the bend, because it is a big meadow, but the runoff situation would be indicative of a whole lot of water being the likelihood of the view. And we'll see what we hit when we get. I'm going to cover about 100 yards over that way and see what we find. Probably a whole lot of water. Because like I said, the day has proven to be nothing but consistent so far. And minor thwartings here and there. But these things don't always, there's no point in getting grumpy about it. These things don't always go as planned. But come the 1st, the official posted information says that the roads are open and I'm going in. And if some lovely ranger wants to argue about it, I will be ready to do so. From your own information given out point of view, or from the I paid for this point of view. Either works for me. We're going to go over this way, I guess. Kind of loop towards that. Not really rough going. I'm just trying to gauge if there's more. Now, this was like a steep downhill, if I remember from last year. We are gonna, I think, take a segment break to cover some ground and navigate and not be otherwise distracted. So here we are in this lovely stretch of forest, and we will make our way there and then tune back in, and either got a huge meadow that's swampier than hell, or you have a temporary lake that was once a meadow last year. My money right now is going to be on number 2, but we will be back in a bit, and we are making our way back. So there wasn't really a flood there. I started to maybe get misdirected, so I started to decide to opt on the side of I don't feel like getting lost today. I've had enough BS in my day, and I'm kind of not really going in the right direction now. There is a large beaver dam, and that is layer 2 actually of kind of like a 2-tier thing, so it is still basically the same shape. I expected to see all that flooded, but apparently it's not. Kind of surprising, because this is a lot more water than normal, and I kind of went further to the left than I thought, because I kind of have to go around this thing in order to get back to the way out. Let me ascertain my bearings real quick, where I is. That's where the couple was, so I'm not lost. I'm just at a kind of like at an odd angle, which that's another reason why I'm going to kind of fall back and punt here, because this is what you're in, and it all looks the same. And if you start getting turned around in here and you don't know the way definitively back, you could have some fun, and I really don't want to do that, so we're not going to. We're going to find the kind of loop around and the like, and then debating if I want to launch the drone, and where, if I do, where from. From in here would be tricky. Alright, so how the language. I just always seem to end up having to traverse these bleeping grabber bush bastards. I will never not hate you bastards. Every single grabby Freaking intrusive one of you. So we're kind of slowly making our way back around. And just to recap, yeah, this has been a day of kind of having to yield to the unexpected. But sometimes that ends up for the better. Sometimes you're going to get a video of me basically grumbling about it all day, and that's the heinous crime of being human. So at least now I have some clues to where the bleep I am. Were I to mess this up, and I'm going to probably jinx myself here, with that big beaver lodge, which suddenly is, with that big beaver lodge right there, for me to mess this up, it would seem that David Paulides and his wackadoo friends are right. And I walked through a goddamn portal to nowhere, and now I'm all screwed. Which would make me decidedly unhappy. I don't need to be freaking victimized by a goddamn portal. Again, pretty beaver pond. Enjoy. La la la. La la la. That la 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 sound is the sound of my annoyance at the day. Because now just the annoyance. You gonna break? Yeah, good. Get out of my way. The pattern of the days has gotten kind of tedious. So we're making a, you know what you can do. Let me look at this from the other side and see if this is worthy of drone launching, because now it suddenly looks bumpy. And too much maybe sleight of hand putting it in the air. At least from, there you go, I'm all cut now, sweet. I'm cut and bleeding a little bit. It's not a full hike if you don't come back a little cut up. A woodman's motto. Rippling right there as I slowly go into like fisherman mode for a minute. What the hell was I thinking was so good about this spot for? This is bumpy as shit. I mean, I could probably launch from there, but then you got trees and... Let's see how I feel about doing it from the main road. I can do a pop-up from there, maybe. Let's get up on this hill and take a moment to consider. I think my initial assessment was somewhat overly optimistic. We're going to say meh to that, and we're going to move back towards the main road, and then we'll kind of assess that versus wetness and snow and mud. But at least I can find my way out of here. I'm going to take a slight segment break too, so I can navigate the rest of this. It's just me yammering at me otherwise. Alright, so we're going to do that. And we'll be back yet again